Hi pilots, welcome to my review video of the Flywing FW450 V3 helicopter. As you saw in my unboxing part of the review video, this helicopter comes nicely packaged in this carrying case. I got myself a ready-to-fly version, so I got everything that I need for flying in this carrying case. All that I had to provide myself is 4 AA batteries for the radio. This helicopter comes equipped with this battery. This is a 4S 5000 mAh battery, and they claim that you can fly this helicopter for about 25 minutes with this battery. Now, I have done so far 4 flights with this helicopter, and even before I have made a maiden flight, I connected the helicopter to my computer and I changed one setting in the app, and that was low voltage return to home. When you got this helicopter, that function is turned on by default, but I decided that I will turn it off because I don't want that my helicopter suddenly returns to home when the battery gets low. I have done this with all of my Flywing helicopters because I rather rely on the timer for ending my flight time. Now, I have set the timer on this helicopter to 12 minutes. When you receive this helicopter, the timers, you have 2 timers here, and the timers are off by default. I set the timers like this. When I turn on the helicopter from stop to run, these 2 timers start counting. The timer 1 starts to count from 0 up, the timer 2 starts to count from 12 minutes down to 0. You will see. You see, the timer 1 goes up, the timer 2 goes down to 0. Now, when I stop flying, the timers stop running. You see. Now, how I reset the timers? I set the timers like this, that when I switch from normal to invert, the timers reset. Now, I'm able to do this because I have not enabled this auto-invert function in the app, because I'm probably not going to use it. So this is how I use the timers on this radio. As I said, I have done 4 flights with these helicopters, and all of the 4 flights were about 12 to 15 minutes long. And when I landed, the battery was discharged to about a little less to the storage voltage, about 3.75 volts per cell. Now, when you receive this helicopter, the helicopter comes disassembled slightly. You have to install the main blades into the main holders. When you install the main blades, you have to pay attention that you don't over tighten these 2 screws, because if you over tighten them, the blades won't be able to move like this. And you may face some issues with vibrations during flight. So the right tightness of these 2 screws is like this. When you see, when you gently put the helicopter like this, the main rotor blades won't fall down. But if you jerk it like this, you see, they fall down. This is the right tightness. So this is that. And when you receive the helicopter, you also have to install the tail boom inside the main frame. Now, when you do this, you have to pay attention that the tail boom is fully secured inside the main frame. This is really important because you see, the way that the tail motor gets power is through this connector. So you have two sides of this 3-pin connector. One side is inside this tail boom and the other side is inside the main frame. And if you don't secure fully the tail boom inside the main frame, you might lose connection here at this connector, because if the tail boom is not fully secured inside the tail boom, it might get slightly out during flight and you may lose the motor power here, and that leads into a crash. So when you are installing the tail boom inside the main frame, you have to pay attention that you just watch this arm here. When the tail boom is fully locked inside the main frame, this arm has to be facing outwards slightly. You will see. Just watch. You see? This arm has to be in this position. Not in this position, but in this position. Because when this arm is in this position, the tail boom, the mechanism inside the main frame catches this hole and it prevents the tail boom from getting out. Okay? This is really important. This helicopter is tailored towards a beginner pilots mostly. And I can say it's good for that type of pilots, because you have a GPS mode here, and in GPS mode it's ultra easy to fly. The helicopter flies basically by itself. In GPS mode the helicopter flies really stable and it's really easy to control. It flies basically like a drone. If you leave the sticks during flight, the helicopter will just stay at the last point when you leave the sticks. Okay, and the helicopter will automatically compensate any wind disturbances. You know, if wind starts to blow from this direction, the helicopter will automatically compensate that and will stay at one point without you needing to do anything. In GPS mode you have also automatic circle flying and automatic figure 8 flying. If you want to enable automatic inverted flying, you have to connect the helicopter to the computer and enable it in the Flywing's application. I have not done that so far because I mostly fly manually in 3D mode. So, as I said, the helicopter flies really stable in GPS mode. It is really easy to control for beginners also in GPS mode. I think any beginner will be able to fly this helicopter in GPS mode, no problem. When you switch from GPS to 3D mode, the helicopter automatically drops altitude suddenly. So you have to pay attention to that. When you switch from GPS mode to 3D mode, you immediately have to increase the pitch a little. Otherwise, the helicopter will lose altitude suddenly. Now, the way that flight controller is set up here is that when you switch from GPS to 3D mode, the main rotor head speed increases from, I think that the main rotor head speed in GPS mode is set to 70%, and when you switch to 3D mode it goes to 100%. So the power consumption in 3D mode is much greater than in GPS mode. Now, how the helicopter flies in 3D mode. In 3D mode, the helicopter comes fully functional in a sense that it flies like a regular 3D helicopter. You get no assistance from GPS or anything. You know, you have to fly the helicopter fully by yourself in 3D mode. So 3D mode is meant for experienced pilots. The helicopter has a lot of power. The main motor is powerful enough. I saw no main rotor head speed lowering during my flight maneuvers. This helicopter has a direct drive tail rotor. This is great because it's easy to maintain, but because of that, the tail hold is not as good as on the regular 3D helicopters, which have variable tail rotor pitch, of course. Now, even though that this helicopter has a direct drive tail rotor, the tail rotor is not noisy here. Because I suppose that this is because the way that this tail rotor is shaped. So tail rotor is not noisy, that's a good thing. As I said, I have only done 4 flights with this helicopter so far, and because of that I can't say much more in terms of flight characteristics, but I will do another review video after, let's say, about 50 flights, and then I will be able to say much more, you know, about reliability, about any modifications that I have done, and so on. So you can expect many more videos of this helicopter on my channel. I'm really looking forward to perform many more flights with this nice helicopter, and you will be able to see how the things go with this helicopter in my videos. Okay guys, so now at this point I will leave you with my maiden flights with this helicopter. You will see how it flies. As I said, because this is a new helicopter for me, I have not done any crazy maneuvers with this helicopter so far, but you will see how it flies, how it sounds, and I hope you like this video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I will see you in my next videos, guys. Bye!